Welcome back, everyone. Today we're doing another interview, and this time it's with Rocket Elijah and Rocket Luke. So I'll kick it over to them to kind of introduce themselves. Whichever you wants to go first.
Oh, hi. I'm Rocket Elijah. I make videos with Luke on the YouTube channel Rocket Sloth.
Yes, I'm Rocket Luke, and I make videos with Elijah on the channel Rocket Sloth. Perfect. Dude, perfect.
This is why it takes us so long to get new videos out, because it's all our conversations are like this.
I feel like you guys put out videos pretty regularly, but I figured, I figured we'd kind of start with kind of where you guys were at before Rocket Sloth was a thing. So I know, and I don't know the timeline 100%, but I know you kind of have a little separate side channel that you do, Elijah. But before you guys started Rocket Sloth, kind of what were you doing? Were you just playing games? Did you kind of work on other stuff, or?
Do you want to answer that, Luke, or do you want?
I don't know. We met each other in like May 2017, or maybe a month before, and then we started Rocket Sloth in May 2017.
Literally, I didn't even know Luke. He's just a complete stranger, and I'm like, okay, but we're gonna start a channel. No, so I had a YouTube channel before. When I was like 18 or 19, I aspired to be a YouTube vlogger. Like I wanted to be the people, but my life's like really, really boring. No, it was before Logan Paul or Jake Paul, any of those people. But my life was really boring. So like it didn't really get anywhere too much, and then I pivoted and did gaming stuff. And then I had a little bit of like a Nintendo following on my YouTube channel back then. I had like 25,000 subscribers or something. But I was getting burnt out and I wanted to work on other stuff. So I actually just I posted a video and I think I tweeted it. And I was like looking for people to work with. Just send me like something you've worked on through my email. And I got like 15, 20 people send it. And they were all just absolutely incompetent. Except Luke's. Luke's was actually a decent email. So I reached out to Luke and we started playing some games, and then I kind of pitched him the ideas I was having for YouTube channels, and then he kind of mentioned some stuff, the ideas he had, and we kind of just kicked off and started Rocket Sloth, I guess, after that.
Yep.
Well, cool. Yeah. So you kind of hit on a topic there that I was going to touch on, was just kind of your inspirations for starting your channel. So we'll kind of move on to the next topic a little bit. So I know, obviously, Luke, you used to live in Germany. What was the main decision to move over to the US? Was it just something you wanted to do, or was it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I always wanted to live in the US, and I don't know. Then I met my wife, and she lived in Germany for 3 or 4 years, and then we just decided if I could get a green card, I'll get it, and then we'll move here. Yeah, that's all. I always want to live in the United States, so it seemed like a fun place. So.
Oh, gotcha. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Does it still seem like a fun place?
I mean, I don't leave my house that much, so.
Fair enough. It's not that different.
Yeah.
If you never leave the confines of your apartment, it's a great place.
Yeah.
Nothing can go wrong in there.
Yeah.
So
I'll just stay at home.
So looking back through kind of the lineage of your channel's videos, originally you guys, and you kind of mentioned doing some Nintendo videos, and you guys used to do, I don't know how to describe it, but I'd say it was a lot more of like your regular gaming channel, where you kind of did some reviews, you did some like top 10 videos, you did like topic pieces, I guess you'd call them. Whereas now you've kind of, at least in the past, I don't know, 5-6 months, it's a lot more like challenge style videos. How did you guys kind of make that pivot? Was it just a natural evolution? Is it just something you guys have been enjoying doing, or what kind of led you in that direction?
I think at the beginning we just tried a bunch of stuff, and we wanted to see like what works or what is fun to produce, what type of content. And then we like slowly, well, actually our third video is a Halo video, and we've always done like Halo videos in between. And then just, I don't know, we just kind of focused on Halo more, and we had some Call of Duty videos that took off, and those are just like two of the franchise that we enjoy the most. And then I guess I don't even know what our first challenge was. Was it without shooting?
Oh no, I don't even remember. When did we start doing challenge videos?
What was our first challenge? I don't know.
It might have been when I did COD 4 no shooting.
I don't think it was the first one.
Or no, it might have been Halo, right?
Yeah, I think it was Halo, right? Let me find it.
I think what happened was early on we tried to kind of cast a large net over just like the generic gaming like topics.
Mm-hmm.
And but like we also noticed as we were making more content, like the videos that we had like really strong opinions on, or the games that we were talking about that like we really cared about, did better. And it was probably because we were more knowledgeable on the games we we're talking about, and we had stronger opinions and we're able to formulate our opinions on those games a little bit better. So like when we would do a Halo video or a Call of Duty video, you know, we're talking about the glory days of you know, Xbox 360 parties and stuff like that. Like those types of conversations and videos would do better anyways, and we had more fun doing those. So like while we started with this kind of broad spectrum, like our channel was always being pushed by the same topics doing well. So we kind of just zeroed in on that. And I think once we decided like let's just focus on covering like this like pocket like of ideas and topics and stuff, that's when like things, you know, kind of started to come together, and at least us having a better vision on what type of content we wanted to make.
Cool. Yeah.
And our first challenge was Halo Trilogy without shooting, which was 10 months ago. So
really,
I guess
I'm so surprised we would have done the whole trilogy for the first video. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe you. I'm not calling you a liar, Luke.
You might be a liar. Maybe you just deleted a couple videos.
I got proof. I deleted all the challenges before this, so I'm not looking like an idiot.
There you go. So I would say your guys' current style for doing the challenges videos, it's probably not like 100% unique, but I would say like it's fairly different than the way a lot of people do challenges on YouTube. I think a lot of people just kind of record them and maybe cut up recordings, whereas you guys, you're obviously recording, but then you, I assume, write a script and then kind of do a voiceover and then edit in relevant clips as you go. Was that just kind of a style that came naturally, or did you have some inspirations there?
I'm trying to think, but I think right around the time we started doing the challenges, it was more like I was starting to realize like what type of content I really like to watch on YouTube. And I think Luke kind of picked up on that also around the same time, because we watch a lot of the same channels. But we were watching like I don't know, like what's a good example of like a channel like Nexpo or like the Down the Rabbit Hole series with Frederick Knudsen. Like these are like very like they're like documentary type presentations. And one thing I really liked about those channels were the fact that like they tell like a story like in their videos, beginning, middle to end. So like more so than us just wanting to do a challenge to make a video, like I really wanted to try to like make a video that takes our experience but tells it in like an interesting story where there's kind of this beginning, middle, and end. And some videos, I guess maybe I translated that idea better than others, but that was kind of the starting point. Was whoops, I hit my mic. That was kind of the starting point though. It's like where can we like what's interesting about this? Like I think one of the most interesting parts about the challenges people like to see is that like this is what was hard, like this was the struggle, rather than just being like, oh, you can beat this by doing this. We didn't want to come across as a tutorial. We wanted to kind of recap the experience that we had, but not make people watch like an 8-hour let's play.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. I was just kind of curious the thought process behind it. So looking back at some of your old videos, you'll notice that, and I don't know if it was like a 1-in-1 type deal, but you guys kind of switched off who would do the voiceover for the video, whereas now it's mostly you, Elijah. Was that just a decision you
I
had?
fired Luke.
Yeah.
No.
I got replaced.
Luke's out.
I don't know, at the beginning, like we didn't know each other very long, and so it was like we did our own videos. Like Elijah would edit his videos, I would edit my videos, and we'd just like switch it out. And over time, we just realized that it might be quicker or more efficient if Elijah voices the videos and I edit the videos, because I have a hard time voicing the videos and just, you know, without like a full-on script coming up on the spot with stuff to say and to fill in the gaps. So since that is easier for Elijah to do and it's easier for me to edit,
Right.
We just kind of split it like that after.
That's also a big thing that I don't think people realize is that our videos actually, I would say, I mean, we have an outline on every video, but I would say like for the most part, 80% of our video or 70% of the video is unscripted.
Oh, okay.
And I have an outline in front of me, and I just come up with the stuff like on the spot.
Yeah.
And that's something that probably the early days of me trying to become a vlogger has kind of helped. Where just like trying to figure out something to say on the spot and formulate something. And that's probably why sometimes I get repetitive and Luke has to sit there and edit out my redundancies and try to make something out of it. But Luke's also a much faster and more efficient video editor than me. So it works out to kind of take the things that we're better at and then just kind of go at it. And it's been a decent enough strategy since we've been doing it for a while now.
Yep.
That makes sense. So did you guys have like a specific video that kind of launched the channel, or like kind of make it took that kind of make, I can't even speak, that made your channel take off? Or was it more of like a linear progression with multiple videos that kind of did pretty well?
I felt like it's more linear progression. I think the first time videos really took off was when we were doing Years Later on like Call of Duty and then other games from around that time, like I don't know, Borderlands or yeah, I guess Halo 2. Yeah. I feel like that's the first time our channel started really gaining subscribers. So those videos are kind of nostalgic already, and then I guess we slowly, I don't know, went from that to Halo. I don't know. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think for me, I think there was two big moments that I can think of, which would definitely be when we did the Modern Warfare 2 Years Later. That video blew up, and I made just enough revenue. I was able to buy my wife's engagement ring. So that was like a big deal to be able to buy something with the stuff that we made from YouTube. And then I would say it wasn't specifically a specific video, but I remember Luke and I hopping in a call like end of the year 2018. And I think we had like 16,000 subscribers. And like we mapped out like what we want to start focusing more on with the channel and like talking about like what types of content and like who our audience is now and like what we can do to grow and continue with our strategy. And we just had this like moment of realization, like what we needed to do. And like that moment, from that moment forward, I felt like everything started to grow much quicker to where it is now.
Actually, now that you mention it, I remember we did the What Happened to the Glory Days of Xbox.
Right around
video,
that time, yeah.
And then that was like end of 2018, and that video took off. And then we kind of decided, I mean, this is good content. We're having fun talking about this, about the older Xbox era games, Xbox 360 era games. So I think that might have been like an influential video we did.
Right. We just decided to like, let's not make content on like this other stuff because our audience isn't that audience. Like, because we're making like an Xbox video and then we'd make a Nintendo video and then a Roblox video, and it's like we had we had like a very different demographic, so we would be splitting everyone up, and we just wanted to double down on the community we felt we mostly aligned with or mostly were involved in.
That makes sense. Isn't one of your Roblox videos, or your only, I don't know, is like your most popular video, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But and that was the thing. That video came out way before we had like any significant amount of subscribers. I would say we had like a couple thousand subscribers back then. But it just shows like we had a lot of people go to that video, and we even gained subscribers, but none of them stuck around for anything else we had to talk about. And we wanted to, and that's a big thing also with, like, you see a lot of like smaller channels do that, where they make a tutorial video on how to get Premiere Pro on their computer for free. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they might get 20,000 views, but they're not going to come back to watch the content that the person's putting up, whatever else they put up next. So that was something we also had to consider.
You mean the same person that watches how to put Premiere Pro on your computer doesn't want to watch your Fortnite montage? Come on.
Exactly.
There's a crossover there, and you just gotta.
There's a gap in the market for Premiere Pro tutorials in Fortnite Let's Plays.
There might be
Fortnite Let's Plays, dude.
Yeah, I want a Let's Play. I want a 10-part series on one game of Fortnite.
10-part. Welcome to my Fortnite Let's Play part 140.
Hey, oh my gosh. That's fire right there. You guys, I think you found your next series.
Well, Luke, what about your OG Minecraft series from back in the day?
Oh yeah, when I don't know how old I was. When I was 14, I think 15, I started doing Let's Plays on YouTube in German, and then like I did like a year or two of that with some friends mostly, and it didn't work out obviously, and
But you're
because
still
I
not
was
doing
just
it?
like a 15-year-old kid. And then I did actually pivot to Minecraft, and I did videos in English when I was like 16. I started doing Minecraft videos because it was just the content I was enjoying at the time. And yeah, true. I used to be a Minecraft YouTuber with 300 subscribers.
Hey, it's a hard job, but someone has to do it, right?
True.
So Elijah, I think if I remember correctly, you guys, when you started the channel, you were in college, correct?
Right, yeah.
Did you go from college directly to doing this full time, or was there a gap in between where you were when you were working and doing YouTube?
Going full time on YouTube came a little bit later, but I did so pretty much with the experience I had from Rocket Sloth, I was able to use that as a portfolio. And I was hired by another YouTube channel to do like voiceover stuff,
Mhm.
and I actually still do voiceovers for them. But back then, I kind of used that as a springboard to at least get to work from home and not have to get the traditional 9 to 5 job.
Cool.
And then from there, I just kind of built up a portfolio, picked up jobs online, and do some video editing and kind of, on the, whatever I'm working on. And I have some clients still to this day from back then, and it was a good way to be able to like set myself up so I'm at home, so I can kind of focus on the YouTube side of things without feeling like I'm exhausted from a job or have to get up the next morning for something. So, but yeah, it ended up lining up or working out that way.
Was it ever a hard decision for you guys to decide? I mean, it sounded like you kind of were already in a position that made that pretty easy since you were doing more freelance type stuff anyways, but was it a hard decision to say you guys were going to like go full time, or was it pretty obvious?
It just kind of happened. I don't know. Like once we made enough money, like
Right.
I don't know. I remember
I feel Luke, your situation with YouTube and work was probably more interesting than mine, though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when we started, I was still in college, and I withdrew or dropped out or whatever you want to call it, and then I decided I wanted to move to America, so I worked at McDonald's for a year to pay for that. And during that time, it was like 2018, and we're like still making Rocket Sloth videos. I guess that was kind of hard to work at McDonald's for 9 hours and then edit for another 3 hours, but I mean, I pushed through it, and it paid off. So,
Right.
Yeah. And I think then when I moved to United States, we lived with my wife's family, and then it slowly began with the full-time stuff, right?
Right around that same time, I think. Yeah. It's definitely weird with going full time on YouTube, because when you're a small channel, you think like it's going to be this moment where you're like, yes, now it's all different. I can quit my job and do it. But really, it's like you're going to have like 1 month where you're like, oh, wow, like if I have another couple months like this, I could support myself. And then you don't have a month like that for a while. And then it just like, then you have another good month and a bad. Like it definitely is a gradual thing, where I think I was always under the impression it's like one day everything's just going to be different and I'm a full-time YouTuber and I'll be like, I made it. Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like I'm still working the freelance jobs from, back when I graduated from college. So it's like it's this interesting transition.
Gotcha. Yeah. So recently, we'll pivot a little bit away from YouTube for a little bit, but recently you guys started streaming over on Twitch. What was the thought process behind kind of going with Twitch, or just kind of started streaming in general?
Well, I think we went to Twitch because streaming on YouTube fucks up your analytics and the algorithm. So that's at least what we've always heard. So we didn't want to do that. So, and I do enjoy Twitch content. I watch a lot of Twitch streams and stuff. So I thought, this might be a good platform to start here. And since we have been doing like Halo content for like a year now, mostly, I thought it was a nice idea to build up a community over there too. Yeah. And I mean, I enjoy streaming, and Elijah used to stream also on his other channel on YouTube for a while, and I mean, it was fun, and I don't know, I don't mind it that much. So yeah,
It was definitely one thing about streaming. I got to give credit to people who stream on a regular basis, though. It can get really, really draining. Like just like every day on a time schedule. Like people who do that grind, like definitely dedicated people. But Luke also made it really easy to convince me to stream because he just set up everything. And all I have to do is just join the Xbox party at the right time. So it made it really easy. But yeah, no, it's been fun. I mean, we haven't really gotten to engage with like a lot of our audience beforehand. So getting to like see them in chat and answer their questions and stuff was something kind of new.
Do you think, besides just doing it as something you enjoy, do you think as a YouTuber or like as a YouTube channel, it's beneficial to have that outlet where you can more directly interact with your fans?
I think so. If you look at Twitch, most like big Twitch streamers are either YouTubers or ex-pros of like, some esports game.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely like a, like something where you can engage with your community, and I guess people accept that, and they come over to Twitch even if you're a YouTuber, and because they want to watch you or interact with you, and that's, I guess, a good thing in that sense. Yeah.
So you guys, I think you've been streaming roughly once or twice a week. Is that kind of the plan going forward? Do you have plans to maybe stream more, stream less?
I mean, 2 days a week is pretty good right now. So we'll see if we change it up.
We're trying to get on a schedule where we're at least uploading more frequently. So we're trying to prioritize that. But as the Twitch thing continues to grow and we kind of get this community, like we'll probably reallocate our time. It, like for instance, we can stream and we get subscriptions and donations, and that money we just put right back into Rocket Sloth. So if it gets to the point where we can hire someone else to edit a video or something like that, then we can use that time to do more stuff like streaming and stuff down the road. That'd be pretty cool.
Yep.
That makes a lot of sense. So you kind of mentioned you guys were trying to kind of set up a schedule to start uploading videos more. Do you think there's, as someone who has a bit more experience with YouTube, if someone new was coming out to you, what do you think is like a good amount of videos, or does it just totally depend on the type of content that you make?
I would say quality over quantity.
Yeah, quality over quantity, but
like consider quantity too.
Yeah, but consider quantity. It's hard. Like, I think twice a week is probably good if you make like quality content, and then you can push for more. But
if you feel like you don't have time, just put the video out there, because it can still grow over time. But like if you're wanting to get it going, then spend your time instead of like trying to find loopholes and tricks and hacks to grow your channel, like making the content, I'd say.
Yeah.
80-20 rule is also good too. So have like the perfect video in your head, like what you would envision it to be like, and then cut 20% of like the quality off of it and put a product that's 80% of that product out, and save yourself the time and put it out there, because that last 20% can really just be a drain of your time. It's better just to get the content out there at that point.
Do you think that there's, even if you were able to keep up the current quality of your videos and you were then able to release them like 5 videos a week because maybe you had an editor or something, do you think you hit a point of diminishing returns where now your current subscriber base maybe doesn't even watch all your videos because you're putting out too many, even if you keep the same quality up?
I think if we'd like just pull the trigger and do it from like 1 week to another week, and we just start uploading 7 videos a week, it might be like too much. But I mean, if we would slowly introduce us uploading more, over time, I think it would work out. I think you just have to, slowly grow into your audience accepting you uploading more often, if anything. But yeah, I mean, if it's good videos and they're topical and they're interesting to your subscribers, they will watch them. Yeah, I would assume so, right?
I would say this about the same. I'd agree. I mean, I don't know if I ever envision us ever doing 7 videos a week. That might be the most. I feel like we could do 7 videos in a week, but I don't know if we would put them all on Rocket Sloth. At that point, we'd probably want to branch out and work on other projects that we've had so many ideas of channels and projects we want to work on, and then we always have to focus on Rocket Sloth first. So we're always like, once we get there, then we will work on this other project. One day we'll get there.
Yeah. So we mentioned it a little bit earlier in the interview, but we kind of talked about how that Roblox video of yours is your most viewed. If you guys had to pick one of your videos that you would say is your best video, or like the one that you enjoyed the most making, or the one that you were most proud of, what would you say?
Halo 3 Warthog.
Yes,
no,
that's what I was
Halo
gonna
3
say.
Warthog walking. Yeah, that one for sure.
No driving. Halo 3's last missions without driving. I don't know. I just remember we, hopped in, like played around the level for a couple hours, and then did it the next day again, and it was just fun. I don't know. Yeah.
I felt like that was the first video where I felt like we nailed the storytelling aspect of it too. And then it was the first video that we felt like we were getting a response from the gaming, like the Halo gaming community as a whole, rather than just like our own audience. And that was really cool too.
Yep.
Would you say there's been, or if you had to pick a specific video that either like performed way better than you thought it would, or like way less, is there one that would come to mind?
For underrated videos, this video we probably knew wouldn't perform well, but I'm still really proud of it. But we did a April Fool's video on best Halo elevators, like in 2019, and that one, I'm still proud of it. I like the best Christmas Halo levels we did too, best Christmas maps.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Because I don't know, like when we do those really sarcastic videos, I don't think they really go in. I don't think people are searching up best Christmas levels in Halo. But like I have a lot of fun just like we come up with so many memes for it, and it just comes out.
Yeah, those are always fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, underperformed. I mean, this is like way back, and this isn't Halo related, but we had like an idea where we wanted to make a month only focused on like Nintendo games, and we called it Interrrview, and like we did like 28 videos in 1 month, and none of them did really well. So I guess that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah,
it's whatever now. But yeah,
we worked really hard on it.
Yeah,
I mean, in retrospect, they were surface level reviews, very short, like quick, like fast videos. But we definitely thought it was like going to be this big thing because we were going to upload 28 videos in a month, and it did. It definitely didn't work out. I think halfway through we finished the videos and we just like started putting up regular content alongside it to like buffer the the lack of views on the other ones.
Gotcha. So we kind of talked, or I think I mentioned a little bit earlier, but you currently have a side channel that you put videos out very infrequently with Weasel Pop.
Yeah.
What's kind of the thought process behind starting that channel? Based on when the videos came out, I assume it started after Rocket Sloth.
It actually existed before. So I had my channel with 25,000 subscribers. And in the process of trying to do different things on that channel, I started another channel and went through several renames. I streamed on that channel Roblox for a while, which is a whole nother thing because Roblox is such a bizarre game. And then with Rocket Sloth doing well, I needed like a hobby project almost, because it felt like working on videos and coming up with stuff was like my hobby project before. But with Rocket Sloth, like sometimes there's some periods of time where it feels more like work. And that's just how it is with anything you're involved in, any YouTube channel. So I needed something where like, if I just want to like make something different, work on something different, look at a different genre, like I can still make something creative and put it out there. And just kind of, I throw videos out there whenever. I have the next couple of videos planned out that I'm going to cover, but it's just going to come down to whenever I feel like putting a video up on Weasel Pop. But I definitely bought a bunch of N64 games in the box for that channel so I could write it off as taxes, and then I now need to get to them. So
there you go. Well, cool. Yeah, I was just kind of curious. So with Halo Infinite, I mean, most likely coming out this year, or we hope, right? Do you guys have any special plans for the channel, or is it kind of business as usual going forward?
I mean, if Halo Infinite is good and the campaign is good, we'll do challenges on it. But if it's like Halo 5, you know,
Are we going to say our
Obvious.
day one challenge? Or are we keeping that under wraps?
I don't know. Maybe we got to build that up. We got to build up the hype. We got a day one challenge for Halo Infinite planned that we're probably gonna do, whether like it's good or not.
Yeah.
Just because we want to experience the game that way, and we've noticed that experiencing the game through a challenge actually makes you look at different things, and it's kind of helpful sometimes. And but I mean, I hope Halo Infinite is good, and the campaign is like, you know, you want to replay the campaign, because I don't mind going into the first 3 Halos and Reach and ODST and like replaying them through challenges because they're fun games, and you know, playing around on the levels is fun. They have a good sandbox. But then it comes to like Halo 4 and 5, and I don't want to play them. I don't even want to do challenges on them. You know, I guess it comes down to how well it plays.
Like our Halo 4 and 5 no shoot video when?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we actually invited like other Halo YouTubers to play through Halo 4 and 5 no shoot with us, like Late Night Halo and General Heed, and the games are just so boring. We recorded them and then we didn't know what to talk about. Like there was no challenge, there was nothing. It was just like all silver on Halo 4, and then on Halo 5 I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So yeah, like, so I don't know. I guess for us it depends on how well the campaign of Halo Infinite is, because that's what we're most excited about, or I am personally. So yeah.
That makes sense. I remember when Halo 5 came out and I played it through co-op with one of my buddies that I had played like a lot of Counter-Strike with. And I just remember like the story or the campaign was so boring. I just remember sprinting through the levels and like not even shooting anything. And we weren't trying to do challenges. I just wanted it to be done. Right. I just wanted out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's times where Luke's like, hey, we have to play Halo 5 and get this challenge, or get this footage for something. And I'm like, do we have to? Like, I try to come up with any excuse to not. I'm like, I could do this instead, and you could get it. And it's just, I mean, there's when it comes to Halo 5, there's parts of it that are good. I think there's some really cool features they added, and same with Halo 4. I feel like deep down in Halo 4, there's a good game in there. But it's just the main format and the main things you experience in those games, I have a hard time fully diving into.
Yeah, I had bits and pieces. I would say like Halo 4 I didn't really jive with at all. It wasn't a game that I put much time into, but Halo 5 I enjoyed certain aspects of it, but it was definitely lacking in other aspects, and other aspects they took forever to add to the game, and it kind of ended up with a product that was, I mean, I wouldn't classify Halo 5 as like a completely bad game. Like I'll say the campaign's bad, and the lack of Forge and big team battle and stuff like that on launch was pretty crappy, but the core multiplayer I don't mind, but it's definitely not like a Halo 3 or a Halo 2 to me.
Right. And I think with Halo, it's like there's so many shooters out there, and I think the fan base isn't necessarily as loyal to the game as an FPS as much as they're loyal to the story and the characters in the universe. And I mean, the multiplayer is very important, but I think with what we saw with Halo 4 and Halo 5, more people like Halo 4 because at least it did something with the characters, or Halo 5 just kind of didn't do much with it.
Yeah, Halo 5 definitely had like a pretty heavy focus on the competitive side, but then sadly, like the competitive side of Halo didn't even really accept it. So it was just this weird game where like the casual players don't really like it because you tried to focus on a super competitive game. But a lot of the older competitive players don't like it because you took it in a weird, like advanced mobility movement aspect that they didn't like. So you just ended up with this weird game that was like trying to shoehorn different stuff in. And it didn't really appeal to anyone, because I mean, anyone that plays Halo for just the campaign or something like that. I mean, Halo 5 failed at that pretty bad. But even like people who like just play Halo socially. Like you play social games like Action Sack or Big Team Battle. I mean, none of that was there on launch. Like they did when Halo 5 launched, it was all ranked modes, which I didn't mind because I like playing Halo ranked. But for people who just want to play Big Team Battle or like team social with their friends, that literally didn't exist other than Warzone, which is its own mess of microtransactions. So I don't know. Halo 5.
I think the level design or the map designs in some cases were really cool, and I think the Forge was really innovative. There's some new vehicles they added in later on, which were cool. But for the most part, I think just the way that it was presented was, like what you're saying. I like playing Breakout Ranked. I think that was what it was called. It was like the elimination type thing.
Breakout's fun.
That was fun until it stopped being fun, and then moved on.
Breakout's interesting too, but I like Breakout. I would say I like Breakout in isolation as its own game mode and its own playlist. I enjoyed it if that was something I was in the mood for. But when the game launched, they tried to shoehorn it into Team Arena and like the HCS tournaments, and I thought that was a mess because it didn't play like any other Halo game mode because it had the totally different like health and shield settings, and it was one life. So it was just weird that they were trying to put all of that into one spot and get people to play all of it. But I guess then once they kind of removed it from there, it kind of died out. So
right.
I don't know. But I do have some more Halo topics we'll talk on. But before we kind of pivot totally over to that, I just had one last kind of YouTube-ish topic. But everyone, I think, always asks kind of like, what are some tips you would give to a starting YouTuber or someone who wants to start a channel? But rather than just repeating the same tips that I think everyone has kind of heard, do you guys have any like unique things that you've run into that you kind of think that maybe everyone hasn't heard a bunch of times, or is it kind of the same old, same old?
It's really hard because there's like not a guide to how to become a YouTuber.
There are, but they're not accurate.
Yeah, well, I always call them a scam because like they try to sell this image of like becoming YouTuber. You do these 10 steps, and then because it's like the stream. But at the end of the day, it's like being self-employed, and you gotta do all the work yourself. And what I thought it was important is we learned a lot about SEO, search engine optimization, and about how title, description, and the tags work together, and how to figure out what people are searching up. You always got to look for that, so you hit that audience, and how to present a thumbnail, I guess. I mean, our thumbnails aren't that special, but like they work on a certain level, and I thought those were always important things that we learned. And
just be aware of make good content first, right? That's the most important thing. But then be aware of like what you're like, everything you're inputting, like your title, your tag, your description, the thumbnail, like all that obviously is for a reason. So like really going crazy with the tags and making sure like you don't want to put tags that aren't relevant, but you want to put, like different variations of the same phrases to get it out there. And the title, little tricks like how many characters your title is so that it doesn't drop into 2 lines. So in search, it doesn't cut off your title or where you put those words because it ranks the words differently. Also, I mean, that YouTube has auto captions, which is, so YouTube scans through and it makes a transcript of everything you're saying. So the dialogue that you say in the video also goes into the metadata somehow into YouTube. So we're always kind of cautious with like, what are we saying in the first 30 seconds? Is it going to possibly help in that regard also on some videos? We don't always do it, but that's definitely and sometimes where we're unsure on how to do a video, we'll start it that way, and we've seen results doing that too.
Cool. So I have
just be aware.
That makes sense. So I have something you may totally disagree, but I think one thing that I hate is when people ask like established YouTubers like tips to start out, and there's 2 ways it goes, right? You get that list of like bullet points where it's like, if you do all this, you'll be successful, and it's like, I mean, yes and no. Like some of that obviously, like make good content, make sure your thumbnail isn't just like terrible, but like a lot of it's person to person. But one thing that I hate seeing is when YouTubers say, like established YouTubers basically tell people that are starting out, like, I wouldn't even bother. It's way too saturated. And, I only got big because I started 5-6 years ago when it wasn't big. And that's always irked me because I feel like it's just not true in the slightest. Like there's new YouTubers that blow up every single year because they make something that's cool and unique. And that's the thing that's important. Obviously, if you're going to try and start a Let's Play channel in 2020, you're probably not going to blow up. But if you can do something that has a cool spin to it and you do it well and you're somewhat consistent at it, it's always bothered me when I see big YouTubers telling people like, nah, there's no reason to start. Like it's too saturated, especially in like the gaming space.
Yeah, I mean, it was saturated in 2017 when we started, or like people were already saying that. And I mean, I do sometimes feel like looking at some channels, I was like, damn, if 10 years ago I had started that, I could have. But like, other than that, I think you can succeed with any type of content if you make it unique. And I mean, there's even let's players that are kind of new that blow up like the last couple of years. So it's not impossible. It's just harder. I don't think, you know.
I think like before, maybe some elements on YouTube were kind of like this gold rush where it was like, if you did something, you know, and the quality didn't have to be the best back then because it wasn't as competitive, you could get views quicker. But it doesn't mean that because that time where you could see that easy success or whatever is gone, that you can't become successful on YouTube either. I think look at Luke and I, like we came in to the Halo community and not saying like we're super successful or anything, but we grew in the Halo community with literally probably the time where Halo is the most inactive. You know, like we came in like 2018, 2019, like that's when we started making our Halo content. And there's a ton of other Halo content creators, but we tried to do something different and kind of put a bit of our personality into it. And I think that that helps. But I definitely don't think there's like a time limit or that the door is shut if someone's trying to start up as a content creator. It's just more important now that you're making good content and personable content rather than, you know, just throwing a let's play up and maybe blowing up and getting those things that used to maybe happen occasionally. And a lot of those YouTubers who blew up and didn't make that good of content, but they blew up because they were on a relevant topic and there wasn't a lot of competition back then, like a lot of them have fallen off since. So it's not even a matter of like, oh, you've missed your shot. It's just a matter of maybe their content wasn't that great to begin with. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents, at least how I feel with it. With the even Weasel Pop, which is a channel that I just started doing stuff in, you know, in the Nintendo realm. I didn't promote it heavily on Rocket Sloth until I think I gave it one community post for the last video. But before that, like there was nothing on there. And I've had a couple videos do decent for views based off of the channel size. Like, so I mean, and it's Nintendo content. A ton of people do Nintendo content.
Retro content, yeah. Like that's like one of the oldest thing on YouTube. It's like
like
angry video game nerd or whatever.
64 game.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, probably did a similar video, and like you can still get views on it to this day. Like,
So
make it unique.
And like I was in a period where I wasn't even looking at the channel because we're working on Rocket Sloth, and like I logged back in and I had 1,000 new subscribers, and I was like, when did this happen? And it wasn't from a shout out on Rocket Sloth, so it was just organic growth, just kind of on a side project. But I made sure that I was at least proud of how those videos looked before I, you know, put anything up on there that I wanted to grow at least.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, kind of with that topic out of the way, why don't we'll transition, we'll talk about Halo for a little bit, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. So I have a general question. So what would you say that you enjoy most about Halo as a franchise? Like whether it's custom games or it's like the campaign and the story or it's like competitive multiplayer, what's the thing that you enjoy the most if you had to pick one?
I would say the atmosphere mostly. I would say the atmosphere, which ties into like the sandbox of the game. That's probably the most important thing. I like with the campaigns, I like to just go and explore and feel like I'm a part of that universe, and even the multiplayer maps. And when we do videos like breaking out of the maps, I feel like we're kind of exploring outside and exploring more of the game and the sandbox and stuff. So I definitely think that's my favorite part, at least.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the level building and stuff, because like, for example, in Halo 1, when you come out of the tunnel and the screen goes like with the black bars up top, and you look at the view, it like looks very cinematic and just feels atmospheric. And just like the way they managed to build that like in early 2000s and then going into 2010 and forward was kind of interesting. And I mean, I enjoy the story a lot too, like all the characters and stuff of the original Halo games. And then the extended universe or whatever, I don't fully understand it, or we've recently been trying to dive into it a little bit. But it's just so much stuff, and I just I just like the story that I experienced in the games mostly, and yeah. So.
And Bungie did a really good job. This isn't, I guess, the most important thing, but Bungie did do a really good job. Also, besides having these amazing set pieces, but they picked or they crafted enemies and the things you face off against in a really unique way, where the gunplay feels fun when you're playing through the campaign. Also, so it's an example of how they made a formula that is something people want to play. Where there's a lot of campaigns that just exist for the sake of saying they have a 5-hour campaign, and then they try to shove a multiplayer in with loot boxes and stuff to get people to play.
So I know you guys play at least a little bit of Destiny. Destiny is a franchise that I don't mind it, but it never really like hit the spot for me. Would you guys say that, like, obviously I would assume that you're a pretty big fan of like the Bungie Halo games. Would you say that like Bungie, like their atmosphere, their game kind of translated into the Destiny universe, or did it like leave a little bit to be desired? For me, Destiny's always been a franchise that like I really enjoy the gunplay and like the levels, but trying to transition it into like the MMO light style of game kind of ruined all the fun for me. It'd be like if I had to play the same mission on Halo for gear like 30 different times. I don't know if it necessarily translated over that well.
I personally enjoyed Destiny 2 a lot. I played a little bit of Destiny 1 when it launched, and I couldn't get back. Couldn't really get into it, but I was also playing alone, so that might have been it. And actually, last year around like August, September, me and Elijah had just bought like Destiny 2 and all the DLC that was out at the time. And there was like a time where we played like Destiny for 13 hours a day and nothing else. Yeah, we weren't getting anything done, and we just played Destiny for hours upon hours a day. And I did enjoy it a lot then. And I do think they have, they are running into an issue now where the content kind of feels stale, but they have in the past, or there was a point where Destiny 2 felt really good. And I think it's a great game, and I still think it's a great game. We still play it often now. And I think there's a lot of Bungie style elements in the game that I can see, and that make me want to come back to the game and kind of keep me playing. And I know the MMO style is a little confusing, I guess, but I mean, I don't know, I personally could always find myself into that really well, so it's always a style that I enjoyed. So I like that it brought the FPS genre and the MMO genre together almost. Yeah.
When Destiny 1 came out, I absolutely hated it. Just could not stand Destiny 1 at all. I probably was wrong in this, but I feel like the marketing maybe led it up that way, or just the hype surrounding Destiny 1 was that it's Bungie's next game. This is what they've been working on behind the scenes. They were hinting at Destiny since the ODST days. Like, there was posters in ODST with Destiny stuff, references on there. And it's like, it so much felt like this game was going to be, the Halo 4 or the continuation of Halo in that regard. And I think that's what I went into when I played the beta and I bought the game, was that it's going to be like, this is the universe that we're going to be hyped about in the same way we are about Halo. And Destiny 1's main story, the first, like, before the DLC, was pretty weak, like really weak. And I don't even think I finished it. And I just started to like as I played the game, it started to feel more and more repetitive in that regard, because I was expecting, a condensed Halo length campaign and then, like a multiplayer and stuff like that. And it definitely wasn't ever intending on being that. It was trying to bridge, these other genres together. So when we finally tried Destiny 2, I think I knew that going into it that it was going to be different. And I think at the time I was really trying to find a game that felt like an MMO to get into. And I really liked it because I felt like the atmosphere and that world building and that universe was really, really top notch again. And going planet to planet, and they all had their own little lore elements, and just how they based the universe in our own like galaxy. Like the fact that, you go to Titan and there's these methane oceans, which is what they suspect could be the case on Titan in real life. It was just really cool, like the little details like that. And then the raids have completely like made the end game for Destiny fun, because I think there's not a lot of games that have a co-op experience like that.
Also, I think when you play like something like WoW or like any MMO, straight up MMORPG, getting to the raids and stuff, it takes like hours and it takes like a long time to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Where on Destiny, I've literally raided with people that started the game for the first time, and it was like, hey, let's do a raid. You know what I mean? It's like you can get into the late game part of the game even if you haven't played the game for 200 hours. And I do enjoy that part, for example, a lot about it.
Yeah. Hey, WoW has level boosts you can buy, and then you could do LFR.
Well,
although you'll
then
have
you
no
still
clue
need
what your
to.
character does.
Yeah, if you buy the level boost, you probably don't have any idea what the fuck you're doing. And then if you've never done a raid before, it's like different than WoW, and you gotta find the people. And
you'll be useless.
It's like it's not in Destiny. The thing is, you work as a team, and in WoW you work as a team too. But it's not split up in the same way. Where in WoW it's like a tank, a healer, and then a damage dealer. And if the damage dealer pulls the aggro, like the raid is fucked. Like it doesn't work like that in Destiny, and it feels more organic. Or there's like variety in encounters and raids. So I think those are actually really fun, and they have a lot of replay value, even, especially if you're not always playing with the same group of people. And if you're playing with the same group of people, you can just get them done quickly, and
Right. Yeah. And it's like at one moment you're doing like a Portal 2 like co-op puzzle. The next moment you're doing like a parkour section, and then all of a sudden you're doing like a Grand Theft Auto style heist, and it's just crazy how there's these different elements and it's so co-op focused. I honestly think the raids are the best part of Destiny by far, or at least like everything I do in Destiny, as far as like whether I play competitive or I'm doing strikes or quests, it's always to get the gun so I can have an easier time doing the raids. And I think that's kind of cool. Or the next raid that'll come out later.
Yeah, so maybe this might be something you may disagree with. So one thing I found with like the WoW style of raid versus the Destiny style of raid is I felt the Destiny has such a stronger emphasis on that co-op and that team play, whereas like obviously in a WoW raid, especially if you're doing like the mythic raids and stuff like that, it's different. But like if you're just doing the entry level raids, it's kind of sectioned off. You have your tank that has his tasks, and for the most part, as long as he doesn't fuck those up, you don't screw up other people. And then you have the healer who has his tasks, who just tries to keep the tank alive for the most part and heal any DPS that pulls aggro. And then you have the DPS that has their part where they just kind of avoid standing on different spots, do damage during this phase, don't do damage during this phase, don't screw up your portion of the game. Whereas I feel like with the Destiny raids, it's like you literally have to be talking to your teammates, like, yo, I've only done the first Destiny 2 raid, but there's the one level where you're like running through it's like a circle, and and your teammates have to call out like which thing to jump through or whatever. I don't remember exactly, but like there's so much more of an emphasis on like communication in a Destiny raid than a WoW raid, because like in a WoW raid, for the most part, you just do it through text.
Yeah, true. Right. But also a WoW raid is like bigger and not confined to 6 people.
There's
true. Like what raids up to 40 people.
Yeah, you can.
And like but the thing is, what I enjoy, I've been doing like the WoW type raids for like years. Like I played WoW ever since it came out, basically, or the first DLC came out, and like I've played like a bunch of MMOs that copy that style, and that's why I like the Destiny raids a lot, because they are different, and it feels more like a team play. And I think like team play PvE activities are a lot of fun, and so I just enjoy them because
you only get carried so much also in a Destiny raid.
Yeah,
like,
you got to put in your.
At some point, you have to do your part for the raid, like, or else, like, they're built that way where every person has to do something, and I think that's also kind of nice, because you don't just accidentally beat the raid either because someone just flew through it for you.
Yeah. I think it can be frustrating because of that part, that everybody has to like put in the work to finish the raid. But I think once you pull it off, it does feel rewarding, and
Dude, like that guy last night we were raiding, he was the most condescending person I've ever played Destiny with. He was just complaining nonstop.
I almost popped off on that guy.
He kept saying he was gonna leave if we didn't beat it there.
Yeah, and I softened into the raid. I soft entered the raid like multiple times because he said this is my last try, and I want to like get this guy out of here. So I kept like fucking up on purpose, but then he didn't leave, and then he kept saying it like 5 minutes.
He kept
later.
getting more and more mad and kept flaming everyone.
And like I don't know, just like I mean, you meet like weird people, but like I don't know, if you have a group of 6 that are nice guys and are willing to learn, it's actually a lot of fun. Yeah,
I would say like most of the time, like
most of
the
the
people
time,
you meet are going to be competent, but there's sometimes like that one person, and you just got to get rid of them.
Or Tails.
Or Tails. Tails got so mad at you that one time. That was so funny. We have a friend, Tails, who had never done a raid, and we've been teaching him all the mechanics of the raid of Leviathan for 3 hours, and then he just pops off at Luke because we like messed up on something.
I messed up on the boss. Like I got like punched off by an enemy, and we had to reset. And then, like he fucking flamed me. I just popped off on him a little bit.
It shows your damage too, like how much.
Yeah,
damage
I had like
done.
2 million damage. He had like 10,000 damage, like
5,000,
or 5,000 or some shit. Like
it's just
whatever.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean,
well, cool. Why don't we kind of move over? We'll talk about Halo Infinite for a little bit, and then we'll kind of end it there. So obviously, cool. Halo Infinite is supposed to come out this year. We'll see if it does, right? What has your guys' opinion been on kind of, well, I guess you could just say the lack of information, or this past week, I don't know if you guys have been following the stupid toy leaks or not, which are supposedly not leaks.
Yeah, we saw them.
But for me, it's so aggravating that we just still have absolutely no information. And whether or not, because Sketch came out and said like, these are all planned, like we wouldn't leak more things through toys on accident, but it's just like, I don't know if that's just a cover up or not at this point. I don't know. What do you guys think of like the marketing strategy behind Infinite so far?
I mean, in that sense, I think the marketing strategy is smart because people are so desperate for information that once it comes out, everybody's gonna hear about it. But like obviously I would like to know more, and I actually we were both real disappointed last E3 when they didn't show gameplay and you just saw another cinematic. And the art style looks cool. It looks all what we see looks okay, but it's not much what we see yet. Yeah. And the toy leaks, I mean, I don't know. I remember like I just said there has been toy leaks for like Halo 4 or Halo 5 in the past, but I never really like. I mean, you know, some of the toy leaks sound interesting, but yeah, especially the recent one. But like other than that, I don't know.
I never trust the toy leaks though, because I remember Halo 4. There was like a bunch of like a whole Mega Bloks Hornet set. And like all the like Halo people were like, the Hornet's going to be coming back. It's going to replace the Falcon. And then we just didn't get a flying vehicle for multiplayer anyways. So
what do you mean? The Hornet wasn't at one Halo 4 multiplayer level in the sky.
In the background flying by, yeah.
That counts. You just count it at that point.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's true. And that's kind of what Sketch said. He said that these toys aren't necessarily direct tie-ins. So I guess we wait and see. I think it's just the problem that everyone's so desperate that anytime anything comes out, everyone clings to it, even if maybe if we'd had more information, no one would even care. We wouldn't even look at them unless we collected Halo toys.
I mean, this is all the information we're getting, these toys.
I think they're purposely not putting more information out too. I think obviously they're purposely not doing it, but I think it's a matter of maybe there's a lot on the line obviously with Halo Infinite, and they maybe don't want to give the community like just little tidbits of information where in the sense of like dropping one trailer or something where everyone's going to break down whatever we see and then have this opinion, and it could be a negative opinion over it, where they'd rather just kind of hold everything off and release it like all the information at once or in rapid succession. So then even if there's something in the game we don't like let's say we see like Prometheans, right, in the campaign or something in the campaign trailer. But if we also have a multiplayer trailer and a Forge trailer and all these other big parts of the game being shown off at the same time, we might be less focused on the one little thing we didn't like and just talk about the large scope or the big things that are coming. Like if they revealed something huge, like the fact that those brute dudes are coming back.
Banished,
yeah.
No, so that's actually a really good point. Whereas if if instead of doing those single info drops where they maybe break down some of the campaign enemies, or they break down multiplayer mechanics, because that'll be a huge one, or they break down multiplayer game modes. Are we going to have big team battle? Are we going to have forge? But if you throw it all out at once, maybe people, like you said, you'll kind of look at the whole picture, and you might be less negative where you might have been more negative if you'd only seen the one little snippet of Halo, because Halo is the full package at the end of the day.
Right. It's like a good example would be Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. When that trailer came out, everybody collectively hated that trailer.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was more futuristic stuff. It was more advanced movement. It was just a campaign trailer. And when the game came out, people actually who've played the campaign thought it was an okay campaign. It was a little weird for Call of Duty. The multiplayer was more or less the same multiplayer as previous games, but there wasn't like anything jarringly broken about the game necessarily in that regard. But the game completely had, no matter what type of promotional material they put out after that trailer, it had the reputation of being the most disliked video on YouTube. And its whole marketing campaign was all going to have to be, facing backlash. No matter what they put out, there would be this backlash because of how that first trailer performed. So I think that's also something, we haven't even seen the new Call of Duty trailer either. And this is around the time we would get, or we should have seen it by now. Yeah. So we haven't seen any trailers on that. And Warzone was a huge success, and they dropped it without a trailer.
Yeah.
So I think there might be something going on where game publishers are starting to realize that approaching marketing differently might be beneficial.
I think that's a really good point, because you could look at a ton of games recently that have done that. Apex did that last year. Apex dropped out of nowhere.
Right.
And
that's another one too. Yeah.
Very successful, and it was well received. But had they put out a trailer for that 2 months before, I think people would have been pissed off it wasn't Titanfall 3. But since no one had that information ahead of time, we just got the game and you played it and it was a good game. People are like, I do wish we got a Titanfall 3, but this is a fun game. So I like it. Or you could even look at that dumb Battle Royale that came out today, which doesn't look that good.
Well,
but they didn't market it that much.
Well, the thing is, though, there's some games that rely on, like, we pay these Twitch streamers, they play it, or that's all the marketing we do. And, I think that might not be a.
I think that's going to be. I think that's going to be more and more of a trend, at least in the coming, I'll say, 2 years after the way Valorant did it. I think a bunch of other companies are going to try it, and then maybe 2 years or a year from now, we look and we see Valorant did it pretty well. Valorant ended up being fairly successful, or at least it's trending in that direction, right? But maybe this game, Hyperspace and Crucible, those all died after.
I was going to say
those
Crucible pulled it off.
Those die after paying the Twitch streamers. So it actually comes down to, you have to have Twitch streamers playing your game, but that really shouldn't be your only marketing push. And if you're spending a bunch of money marketing a bad game, it's not going to do you any good anyways. It's still going to die out once everyone's actually playing it, because at the end of the day, you can put as much marketing money as you want into something. If the product's no good, then it's not going to matter.
With Valorant, though, yes, the Twitch stuff helped, but like it was more like Counter-Strike Global Offensive was really popular and just peaked like a month before, right?
Yeah.
And it's most players ever. But people are frustrated with Counter-Strike Global Offensive because there's a lot of issues and they don't update their game that much.
Yeah.
And the anti-cheat is complete dog shit. So Valorant kind of stepped in there.
Yeah.
And that's also what helped the hype. And then the Twitch stuff, obviously, too. But I don't think just alone the Twitch stuff made Valorant popular. There was like other factors. And I think for some reason, Ubisoft and these Amazon studios or whatever, they focus on only the Twitch part when their game is completely bad and or no. I mean, maybe Hyperspace. I haven't played it. Maybe it's good, but I'm saying like they only focus on that part when they should be focusing on making a good game and also filling a niche maybe or a need for a new Battle Royale, and then promoting it through Twitch. But just promoting it through Twitch is kind of. I don't think that's the way to go. Yeah.
Well, remember Battlefield 5? That was a mess of a marketing.
Oh yeah,
from a marketing standpoint too. Like, they released a trailer. There was already backlash there. Then they announced that there was going to be a battle royale in it, but then the battle royale wouldn't come out for a couple months after the game's release. And by the time the game had come out, and the people that did buy the game, like the battle royale, the release of that, nobody. I mean, there wasn't really. I don't even know if anyone really played it. I mean, Luke said he played it, but
Yeah,
I don't know if it was really
played it. Yeah.
popular at all, or it didn't catch
The
on.
game
I
is
don't
dead.
think.
No,
The game is dead.
it didn't catch on at all.
I played Battlefield 5 actually the other week, and like one of the most requested feature was a server browser on PC, right?
Mhm.
And they just added it like 2 months ago. Like,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, that's something. Yeah, but like that's something the game like kind of died with too, because you couldn't browse for servers, which is something that every Battlefield before did.
Right.
So I don't know.
It's good they added that a month before they pulled all support for the game.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? But yeah, I didn't even get around to playing Battlefield 5, honestly.
I mean, the thing is, the multiplayer was fun. It felt like a fun Battlefield, but like it didn't have any setup to be successful around it. So
yeah, game. It's such a science, and there's so much more that goes into it than even what any of us will ever see. It's so hard to know. I mean, none of these companies are putting their games out like obviously thinking like, oh, this is gonna flop. Like clearly someone somewhere thinks it's gonna be successful. I don't know how someone thought Crucible was gonna be successful, but teach their own.
I mean, maybe there was like too much money, or I don't know.
I think there was a case of they spent too much money making it, and someone's just like, fuck it, just put it out, and hopefully you can fix it after it's out. And they put it out,
Like
and it was,
Anthem?
yeah, well, yeah.
Anthem's another example
Anthem
of that.
is an interesting case.
Luke and I
sure.
tried it, and when we realized we had to play through a tutorial before we could join each other, we just
Instant
gave
quit.
up. We uninstalled it.
I hate games that do that. They're so
if you're
annoying.
a multiplayer game, let me play the tutorial with my friend. Like,
Yeah,
don't fucking make me play a 30-minute tutorial, then I can join my friends. That's fucking bullshit.
Destiny
You want to
2
experience the game from the beginning.
Destiny 2 does that too, though. You have to play that at least on launch.
Yes.
But
you
it wasn't
don't have to do that anymore, though.
Oh, okay, they changed it.
It wasn't.
That,
I mean,
it wasn't that long. It was like 10 minutes,
it was
maybe.
different. Yeah.
It wasn't that bad, but yeah.
Also, it was mostly cutscenes, and then you walk a little bit.
Yeah,
I think you do have to do
it
the
was.
thing still.
Huh?
I don't know. Do you still have to do the tutorial? I thought Tails was doing it.
No, you do the Destiny 1 tutorial now.
Oh,
Or not the Destiny 1. You're doing like the old Destiny 1 part on Earth. There's
Right.
like a different tutorial for free to play. But if you play the Red
shorter.
War, you still have to do the introduction, obviously. But you don't have
Right.
to. You don't start off with the Red War campaign anymore. You just have to. You can get it still, and yeah.
right. Which is going away now.
I guess it is. Yeah. I don't know why they're taking it out though. Just leave it in. Just let it sit there.
I know it. I'm so
Some
mad.
parts I don't know why they're taking out, but like yeah, whatever. We'll see where it ends.
Yeah. Well, so I don't want to go super into this because I think it's a topic that'll take us like another 30 plus minutes if we really dove into it.
Let's do it. No, I'm
We're
kidding.
Let's do it. No, I'm
We're
ready.
already like over an hour, but so Halo, do you want to see Infinite go back to classic mechanics, or do you want to see them build off of the advanced movement in Halo 5?
I don't know.
Or do you want some type of hybrid?
Like, I mean, the thing is, like, the movement and stuff is not the part that I care about the most, even when playing the old Halo games. Like, Reach had Sprint, and it was a great campaign, and it just felt good. So I don't know. If the gunplay is alright, I would accept Sprint personally.
I despise Reach as a game. I'll fight you about Reach. I mean, the
campaign. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't play
yeah.
the multiplayer. I don't really care about the multiplayer that much. I'll play Action Sack like once a week,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like, I don't want to play
That's
constant
fair.
multiplayer. I'm not gonna grind the multiplayer. I'm like level 28 in the battle pass or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna finish it before the new battle pass comes out or whatever for MCC. But
we're getting skins.
we're getting skins.
That's
yeah.
pretty hype. It's 2020.
True. I mean
and
that
Halo
actually
can have skins.
the challenges though are for campaign though, and so I'm like excited
Mhm.
about it because now I can play campaign
Yeah.
and do a challenge.
And we're not going to be low
reward me.
levels in MCC anymore.
Yeah, I can finally level up in the battle pass through campaign, which is the part that I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
know?
Right. I'm not big
And
on
I-
Halo matchmaking either. I'm the same
Yeah.
way. I like the campaigns. I like Forge. I like custom games a lot. A lot. I really loved custom games back in the day. But when it comes to competitive side of Halo, it's never been the most important thing. But I think from a marketing standpoint and how they should release the game is I think they should have the advanced movement in the sandbox, like in custom games and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But the first week of the game coming out, it should have some sort of classic playlist as the forefront of this is what Halo is. And then if they want to like add a Halo 5 Guardians playlist or something and cycle it in and out like they do on Halo 5 for older Halos, I mean, go for it. Like program it into your game, but don't.
Also, I think we've talked to someone about it, and they said it's hard to develop like advanced movement maps and non-advanced movement, like boots on the ground maps. Like you can't just play, boots on the ground on an advanced advanced movement map. It feels different, right? So what I think they could do, just take like mostly old maps and translate them into Halo Infinite that don't have the advanced movement, like from Halo 3, and like Blackout, make another Blackout or whatever. And I think that would work. And then, they can also make new advanced movement maps. And I think people would accept that if they just divide it up in different playlists. Yeah, like Elijah said.
Yeah. Well,
I have a crazy theory what I think they're going to do with Halo. But I mean, I think we're going to see this new Halo. And I could be completely wrong on this, but I'd really like to see this new Halo almost take some inspiration from what Destiny has done and have a like you play through the Halo campaign with Master Chief. The story is catered the same way of a campaign everybody wants. But then as far as your own progression in Halo goes, with your own Spartan, your rank, your battle pass, your customization, the way you look, there's going to be I'm thinking with the rumors of it being open world and all these other things, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of PvE elements, this living world in Halo that we can use our character to go around and do stuff. And I think that'd be really, really cool. It would be very advanced for a Halo game, something that we've never seen in Halo. And then we do a War Games, which takes place on the Infinity anyways, and still have the multiplayer elements and stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool, though, to have more stuff for replayability for the people like Luke and I who aren't as big on matchmaking and multiplayer. And I think that'd be cool.
Wait.
Catch it. Bring it on camera.
That's amazing.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's amazing.
What did I do? Okay, boy. Ah!
Are you scared of the frog?
It's like a fucking frog. What did I do?
This is amazing.
Nothing.
I will 100% be leaving this in.
That's fine.
Where the fuck did it go?
Stand on your chair so it doesn't bite your leg.
Do frogs bite?
I don't know. It's a fucking frog.
I don't think so, but I'll tell Luke they do.
Yeah.
If it means him standing on his chair.
That's fair.
Fuck. Like, yeah. What do I do?
Nothing. Just leave. I mean, you catch it or leave it. Catch it later. It's a frog. Like it's not gonna kill you.
How did a frog get into your room?
How did it get in your room?
I mean, the back door is right here. I'm like, in the dark. I don't see it anymore, though.
Oh shit.
Oh, I see it. Nice. Fuck! Okay, just give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're fine. We'll probably just wrap up when he gets back.
Okay, that sounds fine. Rest in peace, Luke.
The frog's gonna kill him, man. Oh shit, he's going at it.
What is that? Oh my goodness. Is that a Swiffer wet jet? Alright, Luke versus a frog using a Swiffer wet jet.
Holy shit.
Mind you, Luke's almost 7 feet tall in real life, so just imagine him.
Ah! Jumped on my Swiffer. Wait. Oh, it's out!
Seal it.
You defeated the frog.
There you go.
I'm so sorry. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That was pretty good.
It was scary.
Well, after the epic frog battle, do you guys have any final words?
I'm sorry for interrupting the Halo talk.
No, you're
with my
fine.
frog issues, but
no, I think this was fun. This is a cool format.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
I dig it. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and thanks everyone for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.